guys, it's Joshua Reviews. So, we finished Shark Week or Shark Month, whatever you want to call it. I finished it. So, Halloween season is almost upon us. I want to take a look at some movies before we jump straight into the whole Halloween spooky season. And I thought that I should go through my slasher collection and pick up a random movie. So the movie today we're going to be reviewing is Detour. So, the first thing I noticed about this movie was that it was made by none other than the Asylum. If you're not familiar with the Asylum, they are a company most well known for Sharknado and their low budget mockbusters. So you got movies like Snakes on a Plane. They come in with Snakes on a Train, Transformers, Transmorphers. What was it? Alien versus Predator, Alien versus Hunter. You get what I'm doing here. They also are more famous for Titanic II, one of the worst movies ever made, which I may review at some point in time, but not today. So this is from 2003, and you can clearly tell it was inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, Wrong Turn, the Cabin Fever. This movie came out literally in 2003, so this is a straightforward ripoff of all three of those movies. Hills Have Eyes, you name it. Those backwoods slashers from 2000s. And going into it, like, knowing what to expect, I know exactly what I'm in for when I watch these types of movies. I shut my brain off. Doesn't necessarily mean they're always good on like a it's so bad it's good, or so bad it's good territory, right? But the plot, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. One wrong turn and you're fresh meat. Okay. So the plot centers around these 7 teenagers or 7 friends. They are throwing this rave and they're trying to find this spot to throw some sort of like rave or whatever. And so they get word from this gas station employee to, not make this detour. So they're like, let's go make that detour. Wrong turn, detour, same shit. So they make the detour and they see this, and the one driving sees this little girl in the middle of the road. He crashes. They're stranded and they split up, and one by one they get picked off by whatever. I don't know what I was expecting, coming from like an early 2000s backwoods slasher. I guess I was expecting something more like straightforward. This is anything but straightforward because this movie at some point just gets bonkers. I mean it. There's some weird shit in this movie. I thought it was going to be some backwoods like slasher where a guy with a pitchfork or hook or whatever starts clawing at them and starts hacking away. No. This is about some sort of like cannibalistic cult that can somehow like transfer their evil spirit into you. I mean, it's fucking weird. I would say the first 30 minutes are kind of slow. There's some funny dialogue and some offensive dialogue. At one point, someone literally calls one of the main characters a F.A. And I'm like, whew, can't get away with that now. Yeah. And they're over here like just being obnoxious. And I was like, oh boy, this is our cast. We're just stuck with these obnoxious teens, which I'm used to, but they were pretty obnoxious. The only redeeming character in this group was, I think his name is Loops or Lou or Loops or something. I don't know. It was something weird. He's literally like an Ice Cube impersonator, but he wasn't black. He's really, this gangster type guy. And it was so weird. I don't know what they were doing with the direction, but it fucking worked. He was hilarious. But yeah, the first 30 minutes are kind of like whatever. I was just kind of like, I'm on my phone, like. And then like the 40, 50 minute mark, shit just starts to get weird. And I go like, what? There's some sort of like cult like infection going on that I don't. I mean, I was paying attention like after a certain point, so I was kind of like, did I miss something? I think it's implied that the little girl that they saw on the side of the road was like the one controlling it all, but if that's the case, I completely missed it because I was just like, what is going on? This is weird. The one thing I want to say about this movie that I think will either make it or break it for you is that this movie is stupid, but it kind of relishes in that stupidness. A lot of the dialogue that the characters say is really cringy, but I found some of it entertaining. It's not good, not in the slightest, but some of it is so funny and baffling. I was entertained. The first 30 minutes are kind of whatever, but after that, it just gets bonkers, and the characters are saying the dumbest shit. They're splitting off, making dumb decisions, but the interactions with one another is so funny. I was just kind of like, what am I watching? Where did this movie come from? It was like it came up from the depths of hell just to kind of like, introduce itself and just be like, hey, this is this weird movie. Check it out. Okay. It's a weird analogy. What the fuck? But, if I'm being legitimately critical here, characters are nothing to write home about. They are generic and bland as they come. They literally talk about nothing but sex and like partying. That is literally all they talk about. There's nothing really to like noteworthy besides the one guy I mentioned, Loops or whatever. He's kind of like the DJ gangster wannabe. He literally pulls out a gun or a Glock and he starts like, waving it around like a gangster. And you can tell they're going for that stereotype. And, I don't know if they were trying to be like legitimate with the directing, but he was hilarious in that like unconventional, like, I don't know if that was intentional kind of way. Like, I don't know. It was just something about his mannerisms that just were hilarious to me. The killers in this, they're kind of side note. Like, they kind of come and go. Like, one time, like, I'm like, okay, so that's the threat. And then more people out of nowhere just show up from the darkness as the moon starts to roll in. Because they're stuck in this RV, right? And it gets nighttime. And out from the shadows, this cult shows up. And I'm thinking like, oh, was that established earlier? No, it wasn't. These guys are just coming out of nowhere. Okay, that's weird. And after that, the final act is it's just weird, man. I hate to say I was having a blast, but, I totally understand if people, because with these types of movies, I know what I'm getting myself into, and then I'm surprised when something weird happens, and then I, say, oh, I liked it because of how weird and dumb it was, but, am I being critical? Not really. If anything, I'm probably being a little more forgiving than most people. But who cares? I'm here to be entertained. I would rather watch this than any of the movies that were made by ITM Distribution Company. Those movies, But Detour, it's a weird, bonkers, bizarre movie from the early 2000s. Oh my God. Somewhere between the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. Yeah. Honestly, I will say this. For a slasher, there aren't that many graphic kills. I mean, I don't want to say graphic, but like there are kills in there. But it's not from the teenagers. The teenagers, surprisingly, like don't have that many graphic deaths. I mean, I'm not over here like begging for graphic deaths or whatever. I'm just saying like it's kind of weird how a lot of the kills that happen are not from our main characters, which this is a slasher, but I don't really want to say it's like your conventional slasher. It's really weird and bizarre. I'm going to give it a C+. I had a fun time, but I can't give it anything other than that because this movie is weird. It's got pretty cringe-worthy acting and some what the fuck moments, but if you can just bear with that, I guess, you're in for a pleasant surprise. Like, it's kind of fun and dumb. Anyways, I'll see you guys in my next review. Hope you guys enjoyed that.